you want to know what the day of an active trader looks like in Samuel & Co Trading?
Hi, I'm Liam from Samuel & Co Trading. I'm currently Education Manager and I've been with Samuel & Co for around 5 years. So I've had a long interest in trading. Ever since I was quite young, I played games which had a sort of a trading aspect to them, such as FIFA, RuneScape. I enjoyed sort of trading things, making money on those type of video games. Then this sort of led me to explore how I can do this in real life. So around 15, I opened my first demo account. I was just trading large stocks, just generally companies that I heard of and knew of. I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I wasn't using stop losses, didn't have risk management or anything along those lines. Just trying to learn and explore. It was quite interesting. It was definitely a learning experience. And then when I got a bit older, I discovered FX. So I actually had an internship at Samuel & Co. That was really interesting. It's where I first learned about sort of the FX market, how big that was. It was really experienced. In comparison to me trading stocks. It's very different, more intraday as opposed to longer term holding. But yeah, it was really interesting for me. I found it quite novel in a way that I could make money by just trading my computer, really.
My day at work, so I start off by just checking my emails, check the charts. At home I already checked the charts, so I already know what's going on. I check the news as well, what's coming out today. Around 9:30 I then go and make coffee, a bit late today, so yeah, I'm going to go and make that now. Don't see anything coming up in the markets today, to be honest. I've looked at the news. I think there'll probably be quite low liquidity. It might be a bit of movement, however, there's quite a lot of news coming out tomorrow, so I expect there to be more volatility tomorrow, such as sort of German inflation rate, jobless claims.
Today I was just looking for entries on cable, following a lot of dollar strength recently, so we're just basically looking to capitalise on that. I've seen some nice setups or potential setups on gold as well, so I'm just looking to get into that as well. There's a lot of potential for it to go down further, I feel, but it's just really looking at how the news plays out, what results we get in terms of data. In terms of looking through the charts, I was in a cable trade early this week. I got out a bit early due to various reasons, so just looking to re-enter, just following the longer term trend, to be honest. And yeah, that's about it. So I went to university, I studied biochemistry. Although it's not specifically related to trading, it gave me a lot of transferable skills over to my career in trading and career in this field in general, such as research. To be honest, I didn't realise research was such a pivotal skill. It's something that I guess I've had for quite a long time, but it's really important when it comes to doing research into the FX markets, looking at things that are going to happen, fundamental news, things that are happening in the world in general, which then could affect maybe a trade you're in. During the internship, I learned a lot about FX and trading in general. Also, I learned a lot about the importance of mindset, something that I hadn't really considered before when I was younger. And then as I learned to develop that, it really did help my trading push forward. Mindset is one of the biggest aspects, and one of the biggest things I even focus on now as a trader, just trying to improve my mindset and my mentality towards trading. Often, even now, you can know what you should do, but maybe you don't execute it quite right, and you have to find ways to approach the market with the correct mindset and control your emotions. Some of my favourite pairs to trade at the moment are USD Yen, Euro Dollar, Cable. They're the ones I gravitate towards currently. I just enjoy trading them. I feel the setups for my strategy and the strategy I'm trying to implement, I think it works well with those pairs. However, it does change sometimes. I do explore other pairs occasionally, however I do generally stick to these pairs. So I'm just going to walk through some of my trades that I've taken over this past month. I feel it's always best to review my trades, go through what I could have done better, things maybe I'm overlooking, and in general just trying to improve my trading in general. So first of all, looking at dollar yen, it was one of the first trades I took this month. It's a short position. The reason for short position was generally I saw a lot of dollar weakness sort of earlier in the month, so I was just looking to capitalize on that further. We saw a big rally on this day. I unfortunately missed the entry on this. I was not at my computer at this time, so I missed my entry, so I couldn't quite enter. Then I saw a potential re-entry, which met my strategy perfectly in terms of so the RSI was overbought, which is something I look for when I'm trading. I saw that price was good for myself, so above the 200 EMA, which is something that I do look for as well in my trading. Additionally, I was follow the daily trend, the hourly trend of the time I trade, the time frame I trade on. So yeah, I took a short position. I was very happy with the short position at the time. I saw an instant rejection, which is quite nice. It didn't quite move to where I had my TP, so I was really just looking for a bit of a bigger move. Unfortunately, we then saw a rally where it went to around break even and hung around that level for quite some time, as you can see. It almost stopped me out by this big rally here. However, I stayed in the trade. I think that was just news. What we can see quite a lot is quite a lot of volatility around news. So still in the trade. It's important to have a good stop loss when trading, of course. You're only as good as your stop loss, they say. So yeah, still stayed in the trade. In the end, I managed to get out. The reason I got out was because I saw a bit of rejection around where I saw previous support. So yeah, just got out of that level. I also was aware that I had an NFP decision later that week. I was more than happy to get out. I didn't want to hold throughout the NFP decision, and clearly that was the right thing to do, as we saw quite a large rally upon NFP being released. So yeah, I was happy with the trade. It was a 2-to-1, and yeah, can't really complain about that one. Moving on to another trade I took, which was on euro dollar. So it's very much this a very similar setup. Let's get my trade history. Great, yeah, so in this case we didn't see the RSIs being overbought, but I still felt there was quite a lot of dollar strength at this point. Obviously it's a bit later than the dollar weakness we saw in dollar yen. So yeah, I saw a lot of dollar strength. I'm just looking to follow the longer term trend, to be honest. As for the trade, I was really happy with it. I saw a lot of rejection around previous support, so support, term resistance, so yeah, I was more than happy to short at this position. And yeah, I got out for, I think it's a 2-to-1 once again, so yeah, can't really complain. Another trade I took was on cable. So this was a bit of a regret of mine. So I was in a cable short. Once again, we see that the RSI was overbought. We also see that price is also good, so above the 200 EMA. Support, term resistance once again. I recognise this was a key level. Also at the 1.22 level, it's obviously quite significant. So yeah, I was very happy to take this trade. Instantly went into my favour. Got very near my TP. My TP was probably around here. To my regret, I probably held on too long. I believe some news also came out. I'm a big believer in holding my trades and letting it close on the time frame that I'm trading.
This video is sponsored by Active Trades. They've got really tight spreads and fast trade execution in under 4 milliseconds. Be sure to check them out in the description and let me know what you think.
I very rarely close in the middle of an hour. I much prefer to wait until the end of the hour. That way I can make a good decision around my trading. The issue is when you start closing in the middle of hours, in the middle of the time frame you're executing on, often you can make informed decisions, especially around the volatility of news. So yeah, it's just something I have built into my strategy. In the end, I think we got out for a 1% gain, which I was happy with, which in total put me up about sort of 4.5% or something along those lines. But yeah, I was happy with those two trades. And yeah, I've got one last trade to show you, which was another short on cable for a very similar level as we just discussed on the previous trade, but at 1.21 instead of 1.22. My actual entry was probably around here. However, I believe there was some news coming out, so I felt I could hold through that and didn't need to enter at that point. If the news came out positive, maybe it'll give me a better price to get in the first place. I saw quite a steep rally. and then maybe not that continuation that I saw that I expected. So yeah, I was more than happy to get in at this point. Unfortunately, I knew that I wasn't going to my computer during FOMC that evening, so I decided in the morning, what do I want to do? Do I want to close it out and just get out and be happy about that, or do I want to hold and not being at my computer during FOMC? I decided to close, take the more risk off option. Unfortunately, it was the wrong decision. It would have been a really nice trade, it would have hit TP. However, unfortunately on this occasion, I made the wrong decision. But at the end of the day, it's about trying to be happy with your mindset. I know as I was out that night, I would have been thinking about it, holding throughout FOMC, yet not actually knowing what was going on. It's not something I particularly wanted to do. I preferred to relax at that point rather than be thinking about my trades in the evening. In terms of losses this month, I think I've only had one loss, which was on euro yen. So let's just get this up. Yeah, so I've got the euro yen trade. I felt it was a good price. I saw that RSI was oversold. I also saw that it was below the 200 EMA. For me, maybe it wasn't oversold enough. It wasn't a good enough price at that point. Also, we saw a lot of consolidation, a lot of trend switching around here. So maybe I should have been a bit more hesitant of entering. However, I felt maybe this was the higher low to then start an uptick. I was correct in terms of my anticipation that the euro yen was going to make an upturn. I had quite a long-term channel drawn out on euro yen, which I expected it to respect. I just, to be honest, got in too early, but it's good to know that my long-term actual projections was quite good. Just got in too early. It's quite typical that would happen, but oh well. There was probably another entry around here. Unfortunately, I think I was in another trade in the first place. And also the EMAs wasn't quite right for me, but yeah, I was definitely happy to take the trade in the first place. You don't win every trade. Another trade that I was looking to get into this month was gold. I potentially saw an entry around this point. It met my entry criteria. Unfortunately, I believe I was in another trade at this point. Once again, I did want to short it as I anticipated it to continue going down. It did work out. Once again, I think I would have closed out at the same time because of FOMC all happening at the same time. New ones on my computer. I guess that's the price you pay when you don't maybe don't commit to being at the computer during these type of news releases. But yeah, it's a trade I do regret not taking. But at the end of the day, I was still happy on my overall month in terms of gains. So yeah, just waiting for a good re-entry. I see gold selling off quite a lot at the moment, given the recent data that's come out. So yeah, we're just looking for a re-entry, potentially looking at sort of levels I've highlighted before, and yeah, just seeing if there's anything that arises in general. We can see that there's clear selling action going on, and yeah, just looking to re-enter potentially to the downside. But yeah, I preferred not to have longer term projections of where maybe currencies will go. I know a lot of people have this thought of having a bias to one side, but I truly believe that when it comes to the markets, if you've got biases, it can affect your judgment. If you want something to happen, you'll probably find a reason to make it try and happen. So yeah, I prefer to keep an impartial view, act when I actually see evidence of something happening, and then obviously make my judgment at the time. If it meets my strategy, great. If it doesn't, then why am I taking it in the first place? So yeah, just waiting for a good re-entry really.
So my risk appetite in trading, I would say, is quite low in comparison to maybe others. However, I do have very much the mentality of what I risk is gone, and I'm not expecting to necessarily win the trade. I sort of treat it how it comes. So I would say my risk appetite is quite low, but that's obviously perspective. So I would say I'm a mid-term trader. I sort of prefer trading FX on the hourly. So you're referring to the daily, but I try and execute on the hourly generally. That way I can sort of check it every hour, keep up to date with fundamental news, and obviously do other things around my trading.
So it's lunchtime now. I normally either gym or I play FIFA. Today it's Wednesday, so I'll be playing FIFA. Yeah, let's see how it goes. So this is one of my favourite spots in the office. It helps me get my mind off of trading and just focus more on what I'm currently doing. Yeah, it's great to have a similar room in the office, just to completely disengage your mind and yeah, just enjoy a sport I like in general. I'm a big football fan, so FIFA is like the perfect combination. I'm doing the North London derby here. I'm a Spurs fan, so it's a good. Oh, we've just conceded. Oh, that's not good. Not much joy being a Spurs fan, but yeah, I do still enjoy football. Yeah, so in terms of disconnecting your mind, it's good just to get your mind off of trading in general, just in the day, just take your time away, especially when the markets are quiet like today. I don't expect much news and much volatility today, so just taking it slow, not feeling any pressure to get into any trades. I can't believe we conceded. Oh my god. Because I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm saying. I'm not really playing. Getting smacked by Arsenal is like the worst result.
So my biggest win in the market is probably part of my stock portfolio. In general, my stock portfolio, I try and target good gains in terms of risk.
One of the trades that I'm doing very well on, and it's a good win in my books, is my BP trade. I longed it quite a few months ago now, probably a few years ago to be honest. It's currently up over 110%. I felt it was a good dividend stock in the first place. I believed it to be a good stock overall, so I was very happy to add it to my portfolio. It's doing very well in general, so yeah, I'm more than happy with the position.
Generally, I would say I'm quite low risk in my equities portfolio, as I see it more as a long-term holds as opposed to sort of short-term gains. So one of my biggest open drawdowns was around £4,000. I was very calm when I was down that amount. My mentality towards trading in general is once I've put the money and committed the money, it's almost not there anymore. It's gone at that point. If I gain back from it, great, and obviously that's the aim. However, it's very much a detachment from that. In the end, I think I closed out the trade for around minus £500, which I was quite happy with, to be honest. However, I could have held it a bit longer. It would have actually worked out and been profitable in the end. But yeah, we live and learn, and to be honest, I was happy to get out where I did. One of the common issues I see among newer traders is they're not comfortable with their risk. One massive issue in that is it affects then your mindset and your thoughts around the trade you're currently in. You might have executed a trade that's within your strategy and it might work out, it might not. However, having that playing on your mind constantly, doubting yourself, is never a good place to be. It can affect yourself in terms of your trading, but it can also affect your life in general.
So the tip that I would give to new traders would be to just try and stick to a few pairs, get to know them really well, try and master them. If you don't feel there's the volatility on those, maybe you can look elsewhere. However, a common thing we might see is traders looking at too many pairs. It can be quite overwhelming, especially for a new trader.
So guys, thanks for watching. This video was brought to you by Active Trades. They've got their own intuitive platform called Active Trader, where you can trade highly competitive CFDs on global asset classes. Enjoy guys, make sure you thumbs up, comment and subscribe.